Hello everybody. I wanted to share with you the final steps of submitting your client design board and book. And this last little bit covers this section down here, these submissions. So I'm going to review how to export your project as PDF spreads, how to export it as pages. I'm going to show you how to use a really cool website called Issuu to share your work with me and future clients or somebody that might potentially be hiring you that wants to look at your portfolio. And then I'm also going to show you how to package a file, explain what that means, and then how you can share the packaged file with me and other people in the future. We'll review that. And that covers it. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing that I want to do is go over how to export your spreads as well as export your pages that you can use for Issuu. So what I've got here, it's a continuation of the portfolio that I showed you in the last lectures. I added some more images. You can see here, let me hit W to take it to a print preview. So you can see I've got images, placeholders. It's still kind of a work in progress, but this is going to be a good example to show you guys a quick review on how to export. So remember that when you are in InDesign, you can export your PDF in two different ways. And when you go to do that, let me make sure I have this in the right spot. SLCC, digital graphics. I'm going to call this, actually I already have final project there. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it client booklet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rename this client booklet. And it's set up as an Adobe PDF print, which is great. And what I want to do from here is hit save. And my two options I have, export as pages or spreads. So pages makes it so that each individual page, I'm hopping back here, gets exported. Spreads allows you to kind of keep these two spread pages together so people can look at your portfolio as if it was side by side. So if you are just emailing somebody your portfolio, spreads is a great layout so that they can still see the side by side setup. I'm going to go ahead and export it both ways. So I'm going to do all pages and I'll go ahead. Oh, I did this on purpose. This document contains links to files that are missing or modified. So if you see this, hit cancel and then hit W and try to find that image that's having an issue. Hopefully it's obvious like this, like here's the question mark. And if you double click on it, it says, let me actually slow that down. If I hover over it, it says missing, click to relink. And what I did is I just moved that into a different folder so that I could show you an example of where that of what happens if something is missing. So make sure you don't have any missing files when you go to export your PDFs. And now I'm going to hit Command or Control E again. I'm going to call this client, to make it faster, I'm going to call it Client Booklet Pages because I want both. I'll go ahead and hit save on that. And I want all. It's set to pages. And remember, just make sure under, I'm sure you've already done this, but under compression, just do a quick check that everything, your image quality is set to maximum. I'm going to go ahead and hit export. And that's done. It just pulled up a preview for me. I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. This time I'm going to go to File, Export. I'm going the long way. And then this time I'm going to call this one the Spreads. And I'll show you the difference between the two. This is a review, but you know, it's been a long summer. Maybe we've all forgotten what that meant. Let me drag this over here and I'll show you the difference between the two. So under spreads, you can see that I only have 6 pages. And as I go through, you can see that it shows how the spread layouts look side by side. These are my cute in-laws. They'll be celebrating their 50th anniversary in about a week, and I was just looking at pictures of them. So you can see everything is here as a spread layout. Now in the pages layout, you do that same thing. You can see that there's 11 pages because it didn't combine the pages, and it shows each individual page. So this would be a great option if you were sending it to a printer, like a printer on campus. And by printer, I mean someone who's going to print it for you. So like an on-campus printer, sending it to like FedEx, Kinko's, something like that. But it's not great if you were sending it for somebody who wanted to look at your work because it kind of chops it up. These side-by-side spreads are great because you can really see how the two spreads work together. So for your final, we want both of these because if we take a look at our submissions again, I want you to submit a client booklet of your PDF spreads. And then I also want you to send me an issue link. So let's talk about that next part. What on earth is an issue link? And for your issue link, while I'm in here, I'm just going to go ahead and edit this and cheat a little bit. But this will be, let me scroll down here. This is your PDF pages. I've got caps lock on. Sorry, I'm yelling at you guys. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that just to make it clear. But Issuu is a great website that I've used to share my portfolio with people. This is a quick overview, but in a nutshell, you can upload a PDF portfolio. This is one from last year. And then what you can do is share this portfolio with people. So it gives you a link. So if I hit copy on this, you can paste this into an email and say, hey, I'm interested in the job. Here's a copy of my portfolio. Or for the final, you'll say, Naima, this was the best class ever. Look at my amazing work. And then what this does is it takes somebody to your portfolio. And I don't know, I just really like the user interface. People can easily, search something. So if I was like, oh, I want to go find Salk, it'll find that for you. You can also make it a full screen view. So sorry if it's popping off the page. I don't have my monitor set to full screen, but you can go full screen. People can kind of zoom in, zoom out. It's a great interactive way of people correctly seeing your portfolio. I don't know, maybe I'm just a sucker for this page flip. So the first thing to do is create an account on Issuu. And they're just going to ask for the basic stuff like an email address, your contact information. And then once you get that, what you're going to do is come to this menu. So I just clicked on the Issuu icon. And what we're going to do now is upload your PDF pages layout so that you can share it with me. We're going to practice. So what you'll want to do is click on Add Content. And I'm going to go ahead and look for that PDF. So it's on my device. And I love Max because it tells me where I was last time. Oh, this is new. Issuu stories directly from Adobe InDesign. Okay, I'm not going to do that this semester, but this is something that I need to learn how to do. Yay, new buttons, guys. And remember, I want my pages. Sorry, I got distracted and excited. I'm going to go ahead and click on Open and give it a title. So for this, I'm going to write Naima Nawabi Client Booklet, maybe Digital Graphics, if I could spell, 2020. Okay, and you can see it's already pulling up a preview for me. It's great. I'm lazy, so I'm just going to copy the description. And then here, I'm going to call this Other. Well, actually, is this a journal? Nope. Other. Yep, portfolio, etc. We're other. And availability. I like to keep my stuff public. So unlisted, I have one left where you have to purchase it. You can also schedule something, which means that you can have all your work done but then release it at a later date. And then you can decide if you want to allow people to download it, but this is a premium feature. So anything with the star is premium. But I've got all this here. I'm going to click on Publish Now, this button in the upper right corner. And again, I say this all the time. I know I'm flying through this, but please pause, rewind, take it at your own speed. And then check this out. You're live on Issuu. Now spread your content to the rest of the world. So here's my new link. And you can add it to a website. This is great. I've done this before too. It's pretty seamless. But now if I paste that in there, here is the portfolio that I just created with you guys. So as part of your final project, what you'll do is, you'll copy the same link. So you can click on share, just copy that. And this is great. You can even share from a certain page, but I like to share it from the cover. So just copy that and paste that submission into Canvas, and that takes care of that portion of it. So taking a look back here, we saw how to do our PDF spreads, so you will upload that. So that's going to be your file upload. You are also going to send me the website link to your Issuu link. We just did that together. And you're also going to send me a PDF of your client board. You don't need to send me an Issuu link of your PDF board. I'm assuming that all of you guys have a copy of your board in your booklet, so that would be redundant. And now the last thing I want to talk about is another link that you're going to send me of your packaged files. This is a new thing we haven't talked about before. But InDesign does something called packaging a file. Now, what on earth does that mean, and why do people use it? So, years ago, before there were PDFs, people needed a way to share their booklets. So if you think about this, this isn't just used for portfolios, but editors use them to actually lay out books. They use this to lay out magazines, and so to get a copy of their work to the printer, they would need to send all of their original files. That would include their pictures as well as the fonts that they used. Because if you just try to share an InDesign file, that's not going to do much because all of these files live on your computer. So what packaging does is it takes all of your images, all of your fonts, as well as the InDesign file that you're working in, and it puts it all into one folder. Even here, I have pulled pictures from all over. Like this is a student image that I save in a different folder when I download. This is a completely different folder. Who knows where I got this? And this lives on Creative Cloud. So I've got files all over the place. And so if I lose anything, it'll take me a minute to remember how to track everything down. But once you're at a pretty, good point in your project, you can package it so that it takes all of your images and puts them into one place and start working in that particular file. So let me show you how this works. Go ahead and go up to File, and you will see an option to package your work. Okay? And I'm going to take you through some of these menu options, but it's going to show you, I have two fonts. I did that on purpose. I added this graffiti font. So there are two fonts it's going to package, links and images. There's 8 images and links. I'm not sure why it's giving me a caution sign, but it'll tell me what's going on. And then basically after the summary, you don't need to go through really any of these unless you want to find out what the caution sign is for. And I actually don't see the caution sign. So I'm going to keep going. So if I do show problems only, well, that's mean. I know these aren't problems. But if I go ahead and click on package, Publication must be saved before continuing. Save it now. Yes, please. Go ahead and save it. And now it's asking me to make a new folder for this. So instead of calling it the Digital Graphics Portfolio Example folder, I'm actually going to call this the CB or the Client Booklet folder. And it's got fonts, graphics, graphic links. I'm just going to do it out of the package and make sure that the PDF preset is high quality. This is another thing it does for you. It gives you a PDF copy of your work. Okay, so it has packaged. Okay, let me go take a look at this here. So Creative Cloud, I have to dig through this for just a moment. 2020, Final Project, Client Booklet folder. So this is the package that was just created. So this is a different file now than what I'm working on, because can you see that this is called Digital Graphics Portfolio Example? Well, I have a new one in here now that I just packaged. And let me go through what's in the package. An IDML file is a file that people can open who have older versions of InDesign. The file doesn't work very well, but it's pretty much the only way that somebody with an older version of InDesign can even look at your work. This is the full InDesign file, okay? And you can even see the IDML is only 79 kilobytes. It's tiny. Whereas the InDesign file is almost 4 megs, so substantial difference there. It also automatically generated a PDF so that when you send this to somebody, they have a preview of, okay, this is what it should look like. And it does that as a spread layout. All of the document fonts are in here. Have you guys ever worked on a project with somebody and you guys had different fonts? Or let's say that you put together like a presentation and you get to wherever you're doing the presentation and your fonts are gone and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not what this looks like. So that's why it does this. It copies the fonts for you. So whomever you're sharing your work with, they can download the fonts too. And then the last thing is the links. I love this. It takes all of those images that I had embedded in my portfolio and it puts them all into one place. So now, if I wanted to keep working on my portfolio, I could just copy and paste or drag and drop the files or the images I want to use right in here to keep everything nice and neat and basically just keep working off of this. So one of the last things that I'm asking for on the final project, let me come back here, is I want a Creative Cloud link of your packaged file, just so that I can verify that you know how to package your work and that you know how to share it. We did something similar at the very start of the semester. I had you guys verify one of your assignments on Creative Cloud. So this is my Creative Cloud folder. You can see that everything's updating right now. My internet is slow as usual, but it's getting there. I've got some green check marks coming up. So your final link that you will send me for your final project is come into your Creative Cloud, and there's my digital graphics folder. I just have to dig through here, final project, and client booklet. So I want this whole folder because if I click on it, actually no, this is the one I want. This is the packaged one. So just to click in here, here's my links, the fonts, example. If I go back one menu, what I can do is click on this folder, go to share, and then get link. This makes it easy because what I can do is just copy this link and then paste it into the assignment. So if I were to actually submit this, I'm not in the student view, so I can't submit it, but when you see your little submit button up here, you would just paste that link. So quick overview, you will be sending me, you'll be submitting, not sending me, you will be submitting a file of your PDF spread layout of your client booklet. You will be copying and pasting a link from Issuu of your PDF pages of your booklet. You'll also be copying and pasting a link of your Creative Cloud packaged file. And then the last thing, just your client board PDF. So that's what you'll be turning in for your final project. I hope that helps get you guys all set up for what you need to do to submit your final project. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But thanks again for a great summer. I'm really glad I got to spend it with you. And I really hope that you guys continue to use Photoshop and InDesign to make your work look professional and to help you communicate your design ideas in your future classes as well as with your future clients. Thanks, everyone.